but that was an important one.
Okay. Just to change track here for a minute, I noticed that from your notes here on October the 8th, 1883, classes began in Brandon's new Catholic school, St. Joseph's Convent. Now, was this a type of religious backlash to the current Protestant schools that existed, or was it a group of people who wanted an alternate style of education?
Well, you recall that when Manitoba was founded in 1870, the province was a bilingual province, in that there were two official languages. And there was also agreement that the school system would reflect the nature of the educational experience up to that point, in that it would be based on denominational schools. So that up to 1890, there was a dual school system in Manitoba, a Protestant system and a Catholic system. So this was not a backlash as such. This was a very basic component of the school system in Brandon, and it began, the Catholic school at St. Joseph's Convent began a year after the Protestant school was in place. The Bishop Taché, who was responsible for this area, had written to the Mother Superior, the Faithful Companions of Jesus, which was an order of, in France, and in 1883, summer of 1883, the sisters from that order arrived in Brandon to begin the new school. And within a relatively short period of time, the convent had a fairly substantial attendance, and the majority of which were Protestant children. And why the Protestant kids were at the Catholic school, one can only guess, but one imagines that the program of studies that was offered was at least comparable, if not better, than at the Protestant school.
Well, I can remember there being a Catholic school in Brandon, St. Michael's Academy, but there was never that huge enrollment there, and now there really isn't such a situation. So what happened?
Well, the institutions that were created in Manitoba in 1870 reflected the makeup of the population then, and beginning really in the mid-1870s and early 1880s, the immigration of largely Protestant settlers from Ontario changed the social and cultural makeup of the province. And beginning in the late 1880s, there was a movement within the province to end the dual school system. In fact, the movement was led by, or at least initiated by the Brandon Sun, which called for the end of the denominational system for a variety of reasons. And so the legislation was ultimately passed in 1890, which set up a what was termed, at least, a non-denominational English language school system, which is the one that we have currently now. The Protestant, or excuse me, the Catholic school in Brandon had continued to exist up to that time, although after 1887 it had been in decline, primarily because of I suppose what might be termed a scandal of sorts. The sheriff of the county of Brandon, his children had been attending the convent, and his oldest daughter, Emma, decided upon graduation that she was going to convert to Catholicism and become a nun. And this created a furor within the city, and the leaders of the Protestant community denounced the sisters at the convent, and the result was that many of the Protestant children were withdrawn, and the population of the convent school was reduced down to approximately 50% of what it had been.
Then, during this time, what kinds of things seem to have the greatest influence on the growth of the educational system? Was it individuals or groups or media or newspapers or what?
I think it was money primarily. When Brannan had been created, there was a tremendous amount of optimism. One has to remember that the city, when it was first created, went from where the First Street, where number 1 highway is now on the North Hill, to Richmond Avenue in the south, and from 34th Street in the east to 17th Street in the 17th Street East in the East End. 9 sections.
Mm-hmm.
And the initial settlement up to, well, almost up to the turn of the century, really only occupied the central business district area of the city. The development that people had expected and hoped for just didn't occur.
Mm.
In fact, but that was